One.
Hey Southwest Region, we are back here with the next QRT. This is Luke Mills out of the Scottsdale office. And Luke, what are your career sales right now?
My career sales are about $237,000.
Cool. And what are you at so far for this year?
Just about 68 grand.
So almost $70,000. Pretty exciting. So I think we had talked a little bit earlier, and what is it that you were telling me you think is one of the helpful things you do on your demos to get sales?
Well, without a doubt, I would say that one of the biggest factors is just sharing my goals. Last fall, I was trying to go for 40 grand to qualify as a CSP this year, and the most I'd ever done around classes before that was 20 grand. And one of the smallest things that I did that had the largest impact was sharing my goals with the customers.
Sharing your goals. Awesome. So tell us how you do that.
Well, one of the biggest things is like every conference I went to, every meeting there, like make a goal sheet, make a goal sheet. I'd never actually done it before. And one day I was like, that's it, I'm doing it. And I actually made a goal sheet. And I got to listen to a message from Hal Elrod on how to actually share your goals with the customers. And the biggest reason why it makes so much sense is because humans in general are emotional beings. And so it's very cool because Cutco is a very logical thing. It makes sense. It's made in USA. It lasts forever. It's guaranteed forever. It's going to save you time, effort, energy. You're going to use it every day. That all makes logical sense. And sharing your goals adds that emotional tie to make it not only make sense, but also helps the customer feel good about making the decision of purchasing it.
Okay. So what does a goal sheet look like?
So my goal sheet, I got to learn from Danielle Royce, who used to work in Arizona, and her goal sheets always had thermometers on them. And the thermometers, she would make them herself, always had to deal with something that was going on in her life. So when she was trying to graduate from school, it was a graduation cap or a diploma, and now it was an outline of it, and it was marked up. And I've had the pleasure of still knowing her after that. She's had a beautiful baby, and when she was pregnant and still doing appointments, this was even 2 summers ago, it was like a baby bottle or a pacifier.
Nice.
And it was really cool because her customers knew that she wasn't just there to make money. They knew that she was there because she was working towards something outside of it. And when your customers know why you're doing that, it just makes so much more sense of, that's cool. And if you do something like that and the customers get inspired through that, and like, I want, by the end of my time sharing their goals, if they have a daughter, I want them to wish that I was dating their daughter. Like if they have a son, I want them to wish that I was their son, because like when someone shares their goals with you, they get pumped up too. And so if you can accomplish that at the beginning of your appointment, then you've already accomplished so much. And even before you start talking about Cutco, it's not if they're going to get something, it's what they're going to get.
So what does your thermometer look like? Is it just a normal thermometer, or does it have a special shape?
So I wish I had my Blue Book with me right now, because I actually have my previous thermometers, which I also show my customers because they're awesome, and I get to show them, hey, I've been consistently working towards this. This isn't something new. And my last thermometer, when I was doing that, was, let's see here, so the first thermometer was actually just literally a thermometer, but at the top it had 40 grand written all over it, and it had my personal best campaign, All-American Scholarship, and it had Sir Lancelot Award. And I told them, if I hit this, these are what I'm going to do. And it was really cool because all those customers, every time they got something, it got filled in. And I tried to use different highlighters because then it was really colorful. And then they got to write either a note on there or just sign their name. Before you know it, it just has it all over there. And now they know that everyone is buying from me because it's the thing to do. And they know that I'm going to give them the best Cutco deal possible because I'm so dedicated to my goal. Which is just a huge, like, it's not just I'm going to give you a deal to give you a deal. I'm giving you a deal because it's so important. The goal after that was I actually took an All-American sheet that I believe it might have been even Mike Arrieta's or someone's, and I literally took a blown up image or just a cut out picture of my head and put it on there, but it was like exaggerated on top of the picture. So it was like my head on top of a really small body, but it was like me accepting a check. So if I'm seeing Mrs. Jones, like, hey, you can see the next really cute winner of the scholarship or whatever. So that was the second thermometer, and now my thermometer is actually wedding bands because I'm getting married in October. So they all know that I'm going. That's where a lot of my sales are going to, is my wedding.
Investing right now in the wedding. Awesome. Congrats, by the way. On
Yeah,
that.
super exciting.
Super exciting. So tell us how you say it. Like, is there a way you bring it up when you open the book and you've got your thermometer page or whatever it is, and you're just saying, how do you go into it? Before I go into too much, I just want to share what I'm working towards.
That's a great question. So the first part, you're building rapport, and it's great because all the attention is on them. It's on what's going on. It's talking about anything from the weather to their house to whatever. And then they always want to know what you're doing. And so they'll be like, so tell me about you. Are you still in school? And actually, all my binders and everything I bring are purposely have Arizona State University written all over them because I want them to ask me about that. I'm like, oh, let me tell you about what I'm working on. And so then I'm like, yeah, I'm still a student. That's why I'm working. I've actually been a student the whole time through Cutco. And then I go, I always love showing my customers what I'm working on. And I just flip it open and I say, it was really cool because, and I do a couple seconds for each of the previous goal sheets. And then I say, what I'm working on right now, and I flip it, and it's got the 2 wedding bands, and the one right now had a push goal on it, and it has a summer goal, and it's all broken down. And I just say, this is what's awesome. I'm actually, these are my wedding bands. I'm getting married in October, and they're like, oh, congratulations, super excited. I'm like, I know, right? I'm just super stoked. And then what I say is, you know, this is a really big deal. This is something you have to share with them, that you're nervous about your goal. So first of all, you're excited. Secondly, you're incredibly nervous because I've never gone after this before. In fact, I share with them, I'm like, hey, I've already beat last year's sales goals this year already, and I still have 5 months left. And I've got really big goals. Like, we're just talking, I have to double that in the next 5 months. And I've never done that before. And I just have to let you know that I am committed to what it takes to do that. And you can see all the other people that are helped commit in this. And because of that, I gave them great deals on Cutco. Now, I'm only about 10 grand away from my goal right now. So if you just want to go ahead and get that, I can take the next 2 weeks off. And then they're like, all right. And I'm like, sweet, all right. And then I go, actually, I'm just joking. I don't want you to feel like you have to get anything because I would get credit towards my scholarship just for doing the appointment. My biggest thing is I just want you to keep an open mind that if you see something that you like, that you consider getting it today, because I'm so committed, I give all my customers great deals. Does that sound fair, Ms. Jones?
Totally.
And they say, totally. And then before you know it, there's no pressure. They're already thinking like, oh, there's some great discounts going on. They're also thinking like, oh, that's cool, I can actually be a part of this.
Right.
So those are literally what I do. And then the next page, I just do a quick thing and I just say, hey, I'm not going to spend too much time on these, but these are my other goals. And it's just broken down. There's 3 things, and there's 6 different goals, and there's physical, financial, everything down to adventure, travel. And it's really cool because if they're a really spiritual family, they'll recognize the spiritual goals. If it's men, they like practical things. Hey, I'm trying to graduate without debt.
Right. That's cool. So you have goals in different areas, which makes it easy for them to relate to something because everybody's different, but they'll relate to one part of what you're doing.
And I really, truly believe that part, now that they not only commit to that goal, but I feel like that page builds so much trust and respect, and that's where you start getting into customer love. That's a whole other topic, by the way, but that's where you want to be before you go into the appointment. You want them to not only trust you because you're a professional, but also because you're a good, you want them to respect you because you're a good person, and therefore, everything you say in the rest of the appointment, they're going to listen to it. Because of those things. And you've already accomplished that before you've cracked the book open other than the goals.
Right. So, very cool. That's really great advice. So hopefully you guys wrote all that down. You can watch the video over and over again if you need to. But since we're running out of time, let me ask you a couple other quick questions not related to that, but super cool information. I appreciate it. One is, what's one of your favorite things, or favorite 1 or 2 things about being a CSP, being an FSM in this business?
Alright, so the lifestyle is definitely super awesome. I actually get to train with some of my best friends, which are, if you haven't noticed, FSMs and CSPs are some of the coolest people out there. The people that I work with are constantly challenging me, both in and outside of Cutco, to be a better person, whereas before you kind of only get that from your manager and your assistant managers, whereas here it's your entire peer group, and it's not just locally, it's around the country. The second thing is that when you're with other FSMs and CSPs and they want to do fun things that a lot of your friends outside of Cutco can't afford, you can actually go do those fun things. Like we went to, never mind, I'm actually not going to share that story. But
Try better. Let's not share that.
Yeah, we're going to keep that. Anyway, there's just opportunities
cool
because
places.
you can go do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do.
Right.
Experience things you wouldn't normally be able to experience. And it's very cool because right now I'm able to have my best sales year ever, plan a wedding, grow closer with my family, be a full-time student, almost graduating, and have traveled more this year than I've ever had anywhere other time because of the CSP lifestyle.
That's cool. Okay, one last question. It's got to be somewhat of a quick answer, but have you been to CFC before?
Yes.
Okay, so if someone's watching this video and they're asking themselves whether or not they should invest the money that it takes to go to CFC, because it's a little more expensive because it's a 2-day conference, there's a lot of extra stuff thrown in, the river float and the barbecues and all the auction we're doing this year. What would be your advice if someone's considering to go or not?
So, here's what you need to know is, and you might have heard this before, how could you not afford to go? The reason why I say this is because the summer after I started in the spring, became assistant manager for the summer, and I was going back into selling around classes that fall, and it was only after going to CFC, I had my first 20 grand campaign, which was the biggest campaign I had had up to that point, and it was because of what I had learned there. The second thing is that skyrocketed my knowledge of the management opportunity, which I ended up becoming a branch later on.
Did very well.
Division office manager, and a lot of it was because of the skills I gained from there. And then ultimately, it creates an environment for you to learn and engage with other representatives, which I think is just as important, if not more important. You get things like cool dinners, you get the river float, which unreal experience,
awesome.
Multiple times on that. And anyway,
Camera guy's nodding along.
yeah.
Tim's behind the camera.
So anyway, you get to do that, and those are the types of relationships that are going to push you on.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Again, that was Luke Mills. That was excellent information. Hopefully you took notes, put it to use. It will help you out. We'll see you guys at CFC, and be on the lookout for the next QRT. Bye.
See you there.